Welcome back, everyone, from the holidays. And of course, when we start River of Lights, we like to essentially say in Albuquerque that's the beginning of the holiday season. So happy holidays. Okay, we have some fun stuff to talk about today. We're here to talk about, this is going to be the first initial rollout of our ABQ Volunteers program, which is really the cornerstone of the One Albuquerque mantra, which is being used throughout city governments. It reflects how we work together to come together to deal with our toughest challenges. And some of that has to do with a whole lot of need for resources. Some ways fun, some ways small, that volunteers can help out with. Some ways, maybe a little bit more mechanical, but critical to things like public safety. So I'm going to speak to some of those ways and how we're doing that. So firstly, I want to acknowledge, we're going to hear from some of these folks, but our Parks and Rec Director, Dave Simon, who's here, Cultural Services Director, Shell, I think is not here, but, and then our Animal Welfare Director, Danny Navarez, brought a dog, fitting, and then our Aviation Director, Nika Allen, and so we're going to hear from them in just a little bit. Now, firstly, I guess what I want to talk about a little bit is we started with essentially a ramped up volunteer program over the summer that the First Lady and I launched for the One ABQ Challenge. That was meant to be really a one-time event to catalyze a perpetual notion of how we can all come together to help our city. So our goal eventually is to actually find a way that literally anyone can help the city. So if you have like 2 hours, we'll find a way for you to help. But it's going to be phased in over time. So today is announcing the next phase of that. Now, that program alone, though, brought in 1,000 volunteers. It brought in 5,000 hours of service. And it really, in many ways, demonstrated our goal of connecting youth and elders coming together as one Albuquerque. So the next phase of this begins today. And this is part of us turning government inside out and saying, we're all in it together here in our community, even whether we live in the Heights or whether we live in the West Side where we're at now, or whether we even live in Los Ranchos or Corrales. We need your help in Albuquerque. That's what this is about. So this is a comprehensive volunteer approach that will engage volunteers and address city challenges in all aspects of city life. So a couple of examples. We are looking at working in community centers to serve as working in community centers for all the activities that we're doing here. We also have assisting in beautification projects through Parks and Rec. We have doing administrative duties over at APD and helping open up our substations by being community liaisons there. We also have a lot of data entry needs throughout APD that even have to do with our fingerprint backlog. We also have a fun project we cooked up this morning about history of our parks and how we need folks to help us actually as a city understand why our parks are named what they are. We also have, even in our transit, more on the analytical side, we're looking at changing some of the routes, and we need folks who are interested in like engineering, but also folks who use public transit to help us map out potential new plans there. And also folks even to look at some of our traffic patterns. We have 500 ways that you can volunteer with the city, and we believe that by the summer we're going to be able to get that up to 1,000. And so all of that is located at cabq.gov/volunteers. We have the website up here, and it works in two ways. You can either type in what you're interested in, and it'll try and sort of kick out things that might work, or you can just look at what we need. And so you can look at either side of that equation and find ways to help us address our biggest challenges and also have some fun and get to know the community. So to tell us more about that, our Parks and Rec Director, David Simon.
Thank you, Mayor. My name is Dave Simon. I'm the Director of the City of Albuquerque's Parks and Recreation Department. This is a great program of Mayor Keller's, to take advantage of the passion and commitment of our Albuquerque residents. We have some of the most caring and giving, thoughtful and talented people that you could possibly find. And our goal is to engage those people in the many, many positive aspects of civic life and the place where our city can use those talents and help. And in the Parks and Recreation Department, we have some of the most outstanding and fun volunteer opportunities that an Albuquerquean could ask for. From the foothills to the bosque to the volcanoes, and in every neighborhood in between, we have terrific volunteer opportunities at the Parks and Rec Department. Currently, we have a volunteer corps of over 4,000 people, and we can engage and encourage and bring excitement and value to many, many more people who'd like to join that energetic corps of volunteers at Parks and Rec. What do Parks and Recreation volunteers do? Everything under the sun. And they get to do those things by combining their interests, their talents, outdoor healthy activities in ways that benefit our city. So for example, Parks and Rec volunteers may walk a trail, they may beautify a park, they may work with children to learn how to ride bicycles safely and encourage bicycle safety and maintenance skills. Parks and Rec volunteers help us take care of the International Balloon Fiesta Park. And they work with children on environmental education throughout the school year and during the summer. Our Parks and Rec volunteers tutor kids. They help teach children swim lessons. And as the mayor said, they can get engaged in any neighborhood in our city by learning about their neighborhood park, adopting their neighborhood park, and helping to make it better. Our Parks and Rec volunteers do everything from beautification to butterfly gardens. And we encourage Albuquerque residents to join us. Thank you.
Next up, Aviation Director Nika Allen.
Good morning. I just want to tell you a little bit about the airport's programs. We have our Sunport Ambassador program at the airport, which now consists of 75 volunteers who spend countless hours at the airport volunteering, welcoming people to our city, and even some of them have dogs. Our canine team as well. We now have 18 dog handlers and 22 registered therapy dogs who come and continue to welcome people to the airport. We just had a fabulous experience the other day with our volunteers who actually helped us to open our brand new federal inspection station and welcome international travelers on our flight coming in from Mexico. And they actually helped people get through the facility, use the technology at the airport, and welcome everyone to the Sunport and to New Mexico. We're always looking for new volunteers to participate in that as well. And our incredible volunteer ambassador, Doug Lutz, who runs our program, he's here and can answer any questions. And we have all types of people coming and participating in this program. They actually have done a record number of interactions this year, 350,000 interactions with people from all over the world. You can speak different languages to them, welcome them in, and if you love your city, if you love your state, and love to talk about all of the beautiful things that New Mexico has, this could be the perfect volunteer opportunity for you. And with that, I know you have another director coming.
So our segment
And a dog.
Dogs. He's a little tired right now. He's relaxing. Might as well share the success from last Friday.
That's right. That's right. So my name is Danny Novatus. I'm the director of the Animal Welfare Department. And when I first talked to the mayor, or when he talked to me about becoming the director, one of the things that he asked of me was to ensure that we increase the humane treatment of animals and increase the quality of life of the animals in our care. We are an open admission shelter, and so what that means is that every animal, we don't turn away any animal that comes through our doors. And so on an annual basis, we take in about 15,000 to 16,000 homeless pets each year. Currently, we have about 150 volunteers providing enrichment, and there's some very dedicated volunteers providing that enrichment. And really where we would like to be in order to provide the level of enrichment that's needed for our homeless pets to find new homes and have that level of enrichment is probably in the area of more like 600 to 750. So in animal welfare, we have a ways to go to get to the number of volunteers that we need. The volunteers, in terms of jobs, there's several different jobs that you can do. It's everything from walking dogs to cuddling cats. We just had an adoption event this weekend where our volunteers are very key to helping us put on those adoption events. And over the Black Friday weekend, we just adopted out 209 animals, which is a huge success for the shelter. So we are definitely looking for more volunteers. If you have a love for animals, and the other thing I can tell you is that there is absolutely nothing more rewarding than working with an animal that struggles to get adopted, getting them socialized, and then finally finding them a loving home where they'll be taken care of forever. And so on that note, I guess back to Mayor.
Okay, well, what we have here today, we just wanted, in case anyone's interested in like a follow-up story or any sort of examples, we have some folks from animal welfare, we have folks from the airport, we have folks from Family and Community Services, that's the community centers, Senior Affairs also back there, and Balloon Museum. Anyone else that I forgot? Sophia, and Cultural Services. Awesome. And Sophia runs our volunteers program. So if you want any follow-up interviews, Felicia can help organize you with that. This is just the beginning of these 500 ways to volunteer that will eventually be 1,000 that we're going to roll out. And so stay tuned for more in a month or two. Thank you.